afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. My name is Jeannie D. Now, today we're going to be discussing some really interesting topics. A phenomenon called Queen Bee Syndrome, which I've only just heard about, and I'm dying to explore more of this topic with you. Also, we're going to be discussing sexual harassment in the workplace and general discrimination in the workplace as well. So we would really love for you to join the conversation with us. Today we're asking, have you ever experienced discrimination in the workplace? Share your story with us, please. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express. Comment on our Facebook page or give us a call live on the show on 083 913 3728. Our lines are open right now and we would love to hear your story. In the kitchen today, we've got my favorite Italian, and Danilo's there too.
Yes, I'll be introducing who your favorite Italian is in just a bit. Good afternoon, South Africa, and welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Danilo Acquisto. So before we get into the cooking today, don't forget that there's still Winner Home on Afternoon Express today. And I'm very, very excited because we moved into the penultimate challenge for our design contestants. Today, they get briefed on their next and second last challenge of the competition. It's going to be very, very exciting. And then on to Jeannie's favorite Italian, Chiara Turilli, is with us in the loft today. And it's a choosy Tuesday, and I could choose to not eat bread, but if I could eat any other kind of bread, it would be banana bread. But
Good.
We're going all out.
Yes, we've added an extra little twist, so it's cinnamon crunch banana bread.
But if it's crunchy, you can't twist it, so it's more like you're adding a snap to it.
Exactly, exactly. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. So if you ever wanted to make a banana bread, we've got the recipe and the shopping list for you. It's on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Go and find something to download it, print it out and take it with you to the shops next time you go shopping. Make it, take a photograph of it and send it to us on Afternoon Chat's or social media handles. Jeannie's on standby on the couch.
Now, as if climbing the corporate ladder as a woman, let alone working mother, was not hard enough, a new trend in the South African work environment is causing women to not reach their full career potential. It's called the Queen Bee Syndrome. And here to explain this problem to us is leadership academic at the University of Stellenbosch Business School, Dr. Babita Maturhelm. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Jenny.
Now,
Thanks for inviting me.
What is Queen Bee Syndrome?
Yeah, Queen Bee Syndrome is the reluctance of women executives to promote other women and to support them in the workplace.
Yeah, why does this occur?
You know, it could be from insecurity and also from keeping themselves, women, aloof themselves from getting into senior executive positions. And what happens is that women they want to remain exclusive in those senior positions. So they choose not to support other women in the workplaces.
That's so awful that it exists, because I think if you consider a long time ago, there were like top leadership positions were obviously like the boys' club.
Oh, yes.
And then every now and then they'd let a woman in. And now you'd think that women would kind of, you know,
bond with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why,
but that doesn't
aren't
happen.
they doing that?
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen because women feel insecure as they reach the higher echelons in their positions in the organizations. And also because the leadership positions are quite very few. So the competition is very high, and because the competition is so high, women don't want more and more women to reach those levels.
Yeah.
And the reasons could also be the male-dominant work culture, the hierarchical systems and structures which prevent women from advancing in their careers.
It's so, like, it makes sense to me that this is maybe a much bigger problem. Because don't you think if women felt secure in their jobs, they would, you know, want to mentor younger women that almost they see themselves in? But don't you think it's because women are maybe quite threatened that if they become mothers and wives, that their jobs are going to be threatened, that having a younger, single, childless woman in that environment is then going to threaten her position?
Yeah, that could also be the case, but in the typical queen bee behavior or attitude, women don't want so much competition. They want to remain unique. So what they do is they bond more with men, and they support more men, and they also advance more men in their promotions to senior positions. But they don't want to do it for women. Also, there's a thinking that women had to pay a huge price to come up to that level, and they don't want other women to just get it easy. So they don't want to mentor or support women.
That's so sad. How do women know if they are being faced with a queen bee or if they are themselves a queen bee? Because do you think it's a very conscious decision? Do you think they know that they're being such a queen
Yeah,
bee?
not always, no, no. It's a term, it's a research term which was first identified in 70s in the US.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of women know that this behavior is called queen bee syndrome or behavior. But
I meant, do you think they're consciously putting down other women and letting other men rise up around
Oh yes,
them?
absolutely. It's a very conscious decision and attitude.
What do you think women can do to overcome this?
Look, women will have to be more stronger, they will have to form more bonding, they will have to become conscious of this behavior so that they can kind of, they can raise a voice, they can, if you are aware, you can solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So awareness and understanding of this problem is a big thing.
You obviously deal with this quite a bit. Why do you think there's so much discrimination against women in general, whether it's by men or other women in the workplace?
Look, women have been late entrants in the workplace. So opportunities for women are limited. And when there is limited access to opportunities, insecurities arise. And the competition becomes much more harsher. So it's mainly a men's world, and men are they support women. Women can't grow on their own. They have to grow through support from men. And so what happens is that women can't support other women, and they feel they are dependent on men to support women to grow. And therefore, it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah. I think some of the most powerful lesson in life to learn if you're a woman is that you don't need a man, unless you want a baby. But we're going to quickly take a phone call. We've got Nomfundo on the phone from Newcastle. Nomfundo, how are you?
I'm good with that, Judy.
Lovely. What's your question or comment for us?
Judy, I feel like in my company at the moment, I'm suffering through. I feel like someone is holding me back because she may be suffering from queen bee syndrome, and I don't know exactly how to approach the situation. So could I possibly be getting some advice on how I could approach her or try to make things better so that I can continue to work in a productive environment?
Sure, great question. Thank you so much, and I wish you luck. But so you heard the question. What can she do to? Because she's felt like she's being held back.
Yeah. Look, you must talk about it, and you must raise awareness about it. You must fight with these women who are not letting you grow or creating barriers in your career development.
But is that, can she do that? Just come up against this other woman? Or are there maybe other people around that she can speak to?
She has to create that awareness that this kind of behavior exists. And if this behavior is existing, you have to talk more and more about it so that other people become aware, and then the whole organizational culture can change to support this one person.
Okay, but then with this one particular woman who's holding her back, if she then develops alliances with the other men around them to try and lift her power a little bit more, does that not in turn make her a queen bee as well? And then so on goes this vicious circle.
No, she will only become a queen bee if she's reluctant to support other women.
Okay.
But if she doesn't have that attitude, then she's not a queen bee. Queen bees are for themselves, and they gather men around themselves to support them progress and become and remain unique.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think this is such an important message and such an important topic of conversation that we're having today, because it is so vital for women, especially in this day and age, to back other women. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's head over to Danilo and see what's happening in the kitchen. I'm amazed it's not on fire yet.
Not just yet, but we'd love to hear your thoughts, South Africa. Keep continuing giving us a call on 083-913-3728 to share all your thoughts and opinions on this very, very important topic, or find us on our social media accounts to share all those thoughts and opinions that you do have. Now, coming up after the break, I need you to get your spatulas and your mixing bowls ready, because myself and Chiara are going to be making a crunchy cinnamon banana bread. Don't go anywhere. Warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. I'm so excited to bake with you today and hope you are absolutely ready because I have this rule and it's never to cook fruit. I think it's the worst thing anyone can do. Pineapple on pizza, baked apples and things, not my favorite thing in the world. But the only exception I will ever make is when somebody makes a banana bread. And that's exactly what we're going to do today with Chiara Turilli. We're making a crispy, crispy?
Cinnamon crunch.
Which one? Crunchy. So
Yes.
it's a cinnamon crunch banana bread,
Exactly.
which sounds super delicious. I've never made one before, so I'm ready to go. Let's make
Okay,
it.
cool. It's quite a simple recipe and it's super nice for winter because it's easy to get bananas. You just need to make sure that your bananas are super ripe. That's the main thing.
Because I've been to the shops often. I always buy those green ones and leave them to sort of like ripen over the week because it takes me forever to finish them. But I definitely will go look for the ones that are slightly more ripe, which obviously means the yellower, the better.
Yes. So all we've done is we just mashed it up with a bit of salt. And the reason why I put the salt in is because it extracts the water from the banana and it actually makes it nice. You can see it's like a paste.
Okay, I see. So yes, it does. It adds a slightly, pastier texture to it.
Yes.
And one trick I've also learned from one of my friends who used to make us banana bread when I was back in varsity in Diggs was to almost take those old bananas that you have at home, those ones that have kind of gone brown, and use those ones. Those are great for banana bread.
Exactly. That's the older the better, actually.
So moms, if you have ever found your kids leaving their bananas in their lunch tins for far too long, take them all out and make them make banana bread for you. It's the best decision you can ever make for yourself.
Okay, so in here, we've just got a little bit of melted butter.
Yes.
And we're just putting that in. So we're just getting this. You can
Just
mix
to
that
combine.
first. Yeah,
Cool,
just
I'll
combine
these
that.
two.
So in here, we've got our Solasi Casa show.
Show or the
So
snow? Because
snow,
they had their own show, we
snow.
wouldn't be here.
Well,
But yes.
it is a show, so it's the snow on the show. Okay, so we've got that with the eggs and vanilla.
Okay,
so
cool.
we've just whipped it up a little bit. I'm just going to give it a little.
And now what is that
extra.
for, by the way?
So this is going to go into our banana bread mixture to just give a little bit of fluff. We don't want it to be heavy and dense. We want it to be nice, light and fluffy.
Okay, cool. I get you. Because the only ingredient I know in bread is flour and eggs, and so I'm wondering how this all works together. It
You know
seems
what,
like quite a process.
It is, it's a banana bread, although it's called a banana bread, it's in between a cake and a bread.
Okay.
So it does have this in it to make it lighter.
And most important things on this Fridays on our show, we've been making breakfast for the entire weekend.
Really?
And yeah, one of my favorite breakfasts ever to have is like crispy bacon on a banana bread drizzled with like a like a syrup. It's
That's
so yum.
amazing.
Yeah. So you can have it as for breakfast, lunch, dinner, again, one of those all-purpose meals.
Exactly, and you can have it for dessert if you make a bit of chocolate ganache, put that
yum.
over with ice
Oh.
cream.
Okay, let's not get too elaborate here.
Okay, I'm
let's
sorry.
just start with
Sorry.
the basics, okay? Some of us are beginners. Okay, there we
Okay.
go, yum.
So I'm literally just going to pour it in,
Okay.
like that.
Try and scoop this
Thank
out for
you.
Look at me being a good sous
I know,
chef.
you literally are amazing.
It's the only time you're ever allowed to sue me. Okay, delish. All right. I'm going to scoop these up together, obviously combining these two.
Yes, that's perfect. And then afterwards, I like to add cinnamon inside, and it's going to be on the crunch on top. I'm like, the more cinnamon, the better.
Yes, totally.
And then we've got bicarb and we've got flour.
Quick question, can you omit having the cinnamon inside? Can you make it just like a crunchy
Of
banana
course.
bread? So the cinnamon is not definite, it's just the nice
Yes,
flavor.
I'm
Okay.
just obsessed with cinnamon because I think banana and cinnamon, best combination ever.
Okay, cool. Never tried it, so let's try this out. Cool, so you're putting it into your flour and you're going to chuck it in here?
Yes, and this is the bicarb. So this is our raising agent.
Okay, cool. So bicarb, I'm starting to learn more, is like the catalyst for all baking.
Exactly.
So the activating agent helps makes things rise. Oh, that's cinnamon. I love, love, love
So I'm
the
going to
smell.
take over from you here because I just want to show you not to overmix.
Yeah, okay.
Not to overmix this part.
Bossy boots.
That's why I'm just trying to help you.
Okay.
Because if you do overmix it, it will become super dense and it's literally going to be able, you're going to be able to throw it at someone and probably knock them out.
Knock
so
them
we
out.
don't
Okay,
want that.
That would be a bad idea.
Yes.
Although, it sometimes happens. Let's get those combined. And then, is that it for now? And just later on, we're going to be showing you guys how to put that into the tin,
Yes.
etc., and doing the toppings and
Yes.
getting the crunch part right. Okay, so that's going to go into this baking tin, right?
Yes.
For how long?
So we're going to do the crunch first when we come back, and
Okay.
then we're going to put it in the oven.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut and let her do all of the cooking. You guys can cook along with us, though, by finding the recipe and the shopping list on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. We're making a delicious, crunchy cinnamon banana bread, and I can't wait for you guys to send us the photos after you've made it yourself, too. Jeannie's back on the couch with our guest.
Thanks, Danilo. I'm dying to taste that banana bread. Now, earlier in the show, we chatted about a trend among women in the corporate space called Queen Bee Syndrome. Now, apart from this, one of the biggest issues many women experience in the workplace is being sexually harassed by a boss or colleague. Now, with us to discuss is Director of the Women's Legal Centre in Cape Town, Siham Samai. Welcome.
Thank you.
What kind of work do you do? Let's start there, as the Director of the Women's Centre in Cape Town.
The Women Legal Centre is a non-profit law firm, and we provide legal services to women in a range of matters, but mostly to access their right to equality in the workplace, in terms of their sexual reproductive rights, relationship rights, and also issues around sexual harassment. That is what we deal with.
Amazing. That's such an... You must do such exceptional work. Now, let's start with sexual harassment. What constitutes sexual harassment in the workplace?
Firstly, it's regulated in terms of the Labour Relations Act, as well as... So there's a legal framework around the definition, firstly. And so it's unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature. So it is where a person don't agree or don't like or don't want a certain gesture, action, and it must be of a sexual nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it, but what kind of scenarios could play out that people could then say, because I mean, I've been in a situation before where I've gone and done an MC gig and somebody was inappropriate with me and I didn't know if what they did was bad enough to constitute sexual harassment. And then when I was telling friends later, they were like, you idiot, that's absolutely sexual harassment. So how bad does it have to be? And like, what are the scenarios that can play out?
Well, there's a range of, and the ones that is common, which is the physical ones, the ones where it's the touching, and I would say, even say the ones which is like the sexual assault. I mean, that is what people know. You can't touch a person, but even touching, which is at the back or on your shoulder, and you don't like it. That type of touching is also a form of unwelcome conduct.
Really?
But that is physical. Then you also have your verbal.
See, verbal for me is where I get offended.
The verbal is that even innuendos. I mean, you know, saying something which is, oh, you're sexy, oh, and you don't like it because it's not appropriate either in a religious or cultural or even in just your individual setting. And it's not appropriate for you. It can also be deemed to be sexual harassment.
What if a man is to say to a woman, oh, you're looking good, it looks like you've lost weight? Is that a compliment? But if he does it in a way that's a little bit sleazy? Well, because he's commenting on your body.
Yeah, no, the intention of the harasser is not important. It is the feeling, or it is what the person that feels harassed. If you feel that innuendo, I mean, that type of gesture is normally, oh, you're looking fat or thin, but it's said in a manner which has got a sexual undertone, that can be deemed to be sexual harassment. So I've dealt with the physical. Then you also have the verbal, like I said, and then there's also the non-verbal, which is you can have something like a click, or you can have a whistle, or any form of gesture, which is of a sexual nature. The more uncommon ones is where there is what they call the quid pro quo, which is where I say, I will give you a reward, or I will give you a promotion. And you know that that promotion will come with either a form of sexual activity, or you need to act in a certain way. Because that person is in a relation. There's a power relation there, and the challenge that you're sitting with is that you know that if you do X, which is of a sexual nature, you will get that promotion.
Your hands must be so full, because I think this must be incredibly common.
Yeah, it is a problem, but the challenge is that how do women deal with it? And then there's also the sexual favoritism, which is different from the quid pro quo, which is where you know that the person in the form of authority or sense of power over that particular employee will say something like, if you do, you know, if you act in a certain way, or maybe you put a skirt on in a certain way, or you address the person in a certain manner of a sexual nature, you will get. And many women are placed in that situation. They don't like it, they don't want it, but it's what they call sexual favoritism. So the last two is not things that women know, but that is also forms of sexual harassment.
Wow. When it's unwelcome, because I've always made a really huge stand of being the woman that's able to walk into a boardroom in a miniskirt, and I must be taken just as seriously as any other woman in that place. So what does a woman actually do if she is in that environment and if she is sexually harassed?
Well, in terms of the Labour Relations Act, also in terms of the law, but the most important thing is that there might be sexual harassment policies which is in the workplace. The first thing is to actually first look at that policy. If that policies are not there, you can either do it, you can either approach your employer and in a formal or informal manner. Now, I need to explain this because in a formal manner means that you are going to lay a formal complaint against the harasser and disciplinary steps need to be taken against it. And there is certain processes that needs to be followed. In relation to informal, that is where you don't want to take the matter maybe further, but you want the harasser to know that his or her conduct is not acceptable.
Exactly.
So you can do it informal, where the harasser knows the complainant's name. And you can get somebody, either trade unionist or maybe the employer or somebody else that can go to say, your conduct is not acceptable, stop.
Let's quickly take a call. We've got Ingrid on the line from Joburg. Ingrid, how are you? What's your question or comment?
Hi, I'm alright, Tini. It's a comment, actually. I was assaulted by my supervisor at work, and I reported the incident to management, and they were more on her side. And then I got demoted because they tried to separate us. And from there, the environment at work wasn't the same. I got bad treatment. I was called names. My salary was cut. It got so bad that I was admitted at hospital for depression. And when I got out of the hospital, I decided that I was going to resign. And I resigned, and I'm still looking for a job. I haven't found anything.
Ingrid, I'm so sorry to hear that. But what's interesting is that it's a woman that assaulted her as well, not another man.
Yeah.
So what is a girl to do if you're in that situation and then it's gone to the point that now, you know, every other part of your working environment and your other working relationships are jeopardized, and then your financial, you know, remuneration is being cut, and now she's had to resign?
Well, it's not too clear. I mean, can I firstly say that the sex of the person or the gender is not important. If it's a sexual conduct and it's unwelcome, it's not clear whether or not she laid a complaint of sexual harassment. So I'm going to assume at this point that she laid a complaint of sexual harassment. The important thing is that there is an obligation on the employer to ensure and maintain an environment which is supportive as well as safe. So let us move from that premise. Which means that if she laid a complaint, that there's an obligation that they investigate it and also support her. The Women Legal Centre did a matter years ago where, because there is a vicarious responsibility on the employer to ensure that the safe environment is there and damages can be brought against them. So that is a different process. But seeing that she's gone through the whole process, she can also take the matter in terms of Section 135 to the CCMA. I don't know whether or not she's in her time frames because she did not speak about the time frames. And refer the matter to the CCMA, either in terms of unfair dismissal, constructive dismissal even.
But then what are the chances of somebody supporting her? Because it's her word against somebody else's word. I mean, you often don't have proof about things like that.
It's also not clear whether or not she had a trade union. I'm assuming that she doesn't. You can also approach... the most important thing is either to get yourself to an attorney. And I know that cost is a problem. So it is either at centres
like the Ladies Legal Centre.
You can go to the Women Legal Centre. You can also approach law clinics at the various universities that is also doing it free of charge. You can approach the law societies where you can say, I do not have the money. Can they provide a pro bono attorney for this particular process? There are options. You can even go to an attorney to do it on a contingency basis, which means take on my case. If we win, then payment is afterwards.
Thank you so much for chatting to us. You are absolutely amazing. We're going to chat more in a little while. And thank you so much to all of the people that are phoning in. You're tremendously brave, and we really do appreciate it. Let's hand over to Dan. He better be making that banana bread.
So that also, if you want to continue engaging in the conversation, just to remind you of that telephone number, 083-913-3728, or find us on Twitter at Afternoon Chat, or on our Facebook page, Afternoon Express. Go and comment, share your views, your thoughts, your questions. We'll try to deal with as much as we can on air today. Also, after the break, we're going to be chatting more about the Queen Bee Syndrome, plus we're finishing off the last touches on our crispy cinnamon banana bread. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. There's something delicious cooking in the kitchen today, or should I say it's baking in the kitchen. We're making a crispy cinnamon banana bread. Chiara Turilli is our guest chef for today, and you always make the most delicious treats. So
thank you.
I'm really excited over the last while on Afternoon Express. I don't know if you've noticed this too, but we're making all the basics, all those things that you've always wanted to know to make, like breads and now a banana bread, and we've made staple things, like we made our own hummus and stuff like that, which gets me so excited. So I hope you're as amped about making what we're making on the show as I am. So what you've done so far is basically just put that batter into a baking tray.
Yes,
baking tin.
exactly.
Okay, what's left to do?
So now we're going to make the crunch.
Okay.
Yes.
It's crunch time.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got our pecans, we've got our cinnamon, and then we're using muscovado sugar.
Muscovado.
Yes.
Which is so nice because it's got a slight caramelly texture to it, which I think is really nice for a banana bread, which is quite sticky, and you want that sticky feel.
I think the main thing is, like, we're going to add this banana on top of the bread before we bake it.
Oh.
So what happens is when you cut a piece, every person's going to get like a little piece of banana with like caramelized muscovado sugar
yummy.
on top. So we're just going to quickly shuffle that, like that. And then I just like to, obviously presentation is always important. So I just overlap it like
Slightly,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Just
So
give it a
the-
slight little
so
different
like, you know,
layers.
Exactly.
Okay, Clem would like you because texture.
I agree, always. So now we just, like, it's quite a bit. So we just cover the banana like that.
Cool, so once you've got the banana done, the rest of it just goes to fill in the gaps.
Yes.
Okay,
So
good
we just
stuff.
spread it out.
Yummy. And just to remind everybody, obviously you're making a cinnamon crunch banana bread here,
Yes.
but the staple banana bread ingredients will work the same way with your recipe that's on the website.
100%.
Okay, just remove all of the cinnamon, etc., and you'll be absolutely fine. So maybe if you're
Yes.
nut intolerant or whatever,
You can
you're
take that
totally
out,
fine.
yes.
Okay, cool. And this goes into the oven.
Yes, so 175 for 60 minutes.
Okay, delicious. And then afterwards, you'll have this thing come out of the oven. It'll be a delicious, crunchy cinnamon banana bread. And you can make it with us on Afternoon Express, or find the recipe and the shopping list. It's on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. What I really love about it, it's such a winter dessert.
No,
It's
it
such a
definitely
winter
is.
bread. Serve it with a cup of tea.
Yes, or coffee.
Or
But-
coffee. Oh, espresso for us Italians. Jeannie, the porter, is on the couch.
Thank you. So we're busy discussing such an amazing topic, and I'm back on the couch with my amazing guests, Siham and Babita. Now, today on social media, we've asked you, have you ever experienced discrimination in the workplace? And we've got Janet Erasmus on Facebook, who said that she had to resign due to a queen bee, and she made her workplace highly uncomfortable to the point where she started experiencing anxiety attacks. Just pulling up to work she'd get anxiety, and now she's currently unemployed. But this is so fascinating, because we were discussing it earlier, is you said they're closely linked. If the abuse is done by another woman in the workplace, it's linked to Queen Bee, like what our previous caller said. I think it was Ingrid that called, that said that she had been harassed by a fellow female associate.
It could be due to power base, that the woman was trying to assault the other woman, maybe to bring her psychologically and emotionally down, but not necessarily sexual harassment. So it's not sexual in nature, but it's more to emotionally bring the person down.
But let's discuss the psychological impact that this has on women, whether it's harassment or whether it's Queen Bee syndrome. Surely it does something to their degree of confidence, where they might feel that they're not worthy to get to the next level. Or maybe they feel that they don't deserve to complain because they've just got to be complacent in the workplace. I mean, what kind of psychological issues happen here?
One of the issues is that victim blaming is a massive, massive challenge in relation to sexual harassment matters. That's why I think that the employer must ensure that there's an environment that maintains and supports. So we need to be able to see how does that happen. And so the employee can ask the employer to ensure that there's psychological as well as some form of support for her. To be able to ensure that there's no secondary form of victimization. But it is a mind shift in terms of the employer also. Because if the name of the complainant possibly is released, they need to ensure that other employers don't do the victim blaming. You can do cyberbullying. It's all forms of secondary victimization. And the employer needs to ensure that those things don't happen. Because if the person resigns, it can be construed as a form of constructive dismissal if the employer did not do anything to be able to support that particular...
What if the employer is the offender?
The employer, well, there's a range of things.
Like what happens if it's my boss?
If you are the only person,
me.
yes.
Yeah.
What you can do is, I mean, there is still referral also to the CCMA. The most important thing is that the person needs to stop. Sometimes it is only two persons. And that is a challenge that you're sitting with. You don't have an HR. Yeah. But there is a process that needs to be followed. You can go to the CCMA. And also, I think this is very important. There's also sexual assault, criminal sexual assault charges. I think sometimes people think sexual harassment is only within the work environment, but they don't think of all the other legal remedies that they can also follow. Criminal charges can be brought if the person is continuous, it's a form of assault, and then also Protection of Harassment Act, which means that you can bring a formal application against the employer if the employer is the actual person and it's only to stop and stop them from continuing with a particular conduct. So there's other means also other than just the labor relations.
And does it get fixed? Because I mean, I told you earlier that I was in a situation where I thought I was being sexually, and I literally just let it go because I thought, oh, nobody's gonna, nobody's gonna think it's an issue because it was something minor to other people, but it was a lot to me. Now, if I'm experiencing that, can you imagine what other women are doing? And then they're going to be too scared to speak up. They're not going to want to go and defend themselves.
But those are some of the reasons. Like I said, victim blaming is one of the reasons why women don't want to lay charges of sexual harassment. Also, the issue that you've just raised is around, my issue is too small and there is a bigger issue within the workplace that needs to be addressed. And those are all things which I think it's perception, it might be there, but it needs to be able to, the women needs to know that it needs to change at some point in time. That is one of the reasons my issue is too small. But the most important thing is that they should know that there's formal and informal processes. You don't have to go the route of dismissal. But the most important thing is that you must let the person stop.
Exactly.
And if you're verbal, if you tell the person no, you walk away, they don't do it, you need to be able to follow other processes.
Amazing.
But also, can I just add? Also, what happens is that there is a lot of fear. So a lot of women would stay away from complaining because if it's a boss, then the boss is already threatening them. I know this happened for real in one of the provinces in South Africa, and I was asked to intervene. And this woman was sexually harassed by her general manager, and he was threatening her by telling her that I'll get your husband and your son murdered. So she was so scared, and she was giving into the sexual harassment for many, many years. And this led to her lack of confidence in her, and also her productivity. Yeah, it's an abuse. Her productivity dropped, but she continued working out of fear because she was not allowed to resign.
We're going to explore this a little bit more. We're going to take a quick break, but first let's chat to Danilo.
Indeed, I'd really love for you guys to continue to share your thoughts and opinions on this. It seems like a lot of people are really encouraged by the stories on the couch and hopefully are going to be taking action in the near future. 083 913 3728 is the number you can dial to get hold of us. 083 913 3728, or find us on Facebook, Afternoon Express, or on Twitter at Afternoon Chat, and use our official hashtag Afternoon Express. Now, after the break, right here on the show, we've got Winner Home on Afternoon Express. Jeannie and myself will be sharing our thoughts on the master bedrooms that were judged yesterday. Plus, we also get a chance for them to get briefed on their brand new challenge, the second last challenge of the season. You'll have to wait to find out what that is.
Follow three talented young designers as they transform three empty apartments on Valdevie Estate into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Cast your vote on privateproperty.co.za and stand a chance to win one of the completed apartments worth more than 3 million rand.
Indeed, it's time for Win a Home One Afternoon Express. And did you know that you can increase your chances of winning the grand prize apartment if you buy any Plascon product and SMS the keyword Plascon, the last 6 digits of your barcode and your full name to 32979. That's 32979. This puts you in line to win a golden ticket, which allows you to be one of the finalists in that grand prize competition. You can check T's and C's and more details on our Facebook page. Now, yesterday on Afternoon Express was a very interesting day for us on the show because it's the first time that Rudolph hadn't won a challenge. Minentle was the winner of our Master Bedroom Challenge, which was a nice surprise to see because the man had been putting in a lot of work. And I haven't got a chance to chat to you about what you thought about those rooms.
Yeah, and I actually secretly wish I was a judge on Win a Home. Yeah. Like in next season, I might have to bribe somebody because I really want to be a judge on Win a Home.
I secretly don't want to be a judge or a presenter or anything because I want to win the home.
This is my thing. I love houses. Obviously, from so many years on Top Billing, I've literally seen the most beautiful houses in the world.
True.
Minentle's bedroom was fantastic, just because I loved the wardrobe. He really did bring in that luxury element. And that's exactly what John said yesterday to Joanne, is that she failed to do that little bit more luxury and that's exactly what they needed. So,
it was
that's
funny.
why I really like Minentle's.
Did you like that back wall? Because that was something that was quite risky of his. The curtains I loved, the roof that he had done was amazing, the bed poles, risky. And that dressing room, which you loved. That
dressing room is amazing. But look how neutral all of his other colours are, which is why he could have gone for the brighter back wall.
Because it was so interesting. I just thought it would have aged so quickly with that sort of paint, but it really didn't. The judges loved the fact it was out of the box.
The bed wasn't amazing. I wouldn't have that bed. I would want more of a fluffy, luxurious bed in that room. But Minentle was amazing. He totally deserved to win yesterday.
I agree. And what about Joanne? Because I know you've mentioned the fact that hers was quite simplistic. So
yeah, Joanne, her room, she's really, really brilliant. I loved how she put the details in the ceiling. And I really liked her bed. I liked that bookcase in the back. Yeah, I like her simple. It's clean, but it looks to me like a young man is going to live there.
Yes. Well, I hope that if I entered, maybe there would be that chance for me to get in there. The linen wasn't the best idea that she used. I mean, she tried to put some shelvings in, and she didn't make it enough luxury like they did say.
Well, you must remember, we're seeing it on a screen. When you see it in real life, it's actually going to look even better.
It is. It's amazing. Walking into that room, the first thing you see is that beautiful bed, and it feels spacious. Whereas Minentle's got these big poles in this. You're kind of like walking into like, well, is there space for me to get in? So it is.
And then there's Rudolph, who I just want to come and do my home. I love him. I love all of them. I wouldn't be able to choose. But what a great competition so far. And it's very tough. Usually with most competitions, you'd be able to kind of see who's going to take it.
In
with
the
this
lead,
one. I mean, that is amazing. I'm obsessed.
The detail in this room is what I love, Jeannie.
It's so slick. The marbled side tables, he's so slick.
He misses nothing, this kid. He misses absolutely nothing. This throw. Well, this guy. He misses really, really nothing. He's put in the hand-woven like pots and stuff in there. He's got the beautiful throw over that bed.
Yeah. He would have been my favourite. He would have won for me, but I just didn't like that the wardrobe was open. I like a wardrobe to close, but I love those side lamps. I actually have to ask him where he got them from.
I need an insider's opinion. Are you a messy wardrobe person or a neat folded wardrobe person?
What do you think?
Well, I'm incredibly messy, so I'm guessing you're neat.
No, like kind of coordinated.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Then you would definitely love those open design ones. I can't believe you want to close ones. Our design contestants enjoyed the night off, but today they're being thrown right back into the action. There are only 2 more challenges left on Win a Home. What will the next one be? Let's head over to Arc Interiors to find out.
Hi everyone, welcome to your next assignment, the kitchen. In today's modern living, the kitchen is an interactive space where we entertain, we bring our friends, we get creative. This is the perfect example of a kitchen design in a compact space. What I like about this kitchen is the way that they've hidden everything, the appliances to the dirty dishes around the corner. They've made the space feel larger. This bar area doubles up as the work surface area in the kitchen. They've used small tricks like finger grip details and integrated appliances to enlarge in the space. I think with kitchens, the beauty is in the details. So the brief for the kitchen is very simple. Keep it practical, keep it clean, and make it look beautiful.
In terms of color, what do you recommend for the kitchen?
I think at the moment people are getting very, very daring with their kitchen colors. We see a lot of charcoal greys and dusty petrol colors coming through. For the Val de Vie apartment, you need to think about resale value. You need to make the apartment as neutral as possible for whoever the owner is going to be. So I would recommend using a neutral color palette. You could bring in some contrast with some darker, more charcoal colors.
If I want to make my appliances a feature, how do I do that?
If you want to make the appliances your feature, you need to consider balance between what it is that you want to make the feature of the kitchen. For example, Smeg's got, I think, very bright colors. They've got very neutral colors. So if you're going for an orange, beautiful freestanding stove, make sure that somehow it relates to the other open plan areas.
With the kitchen growing more and more as an entertainment area, how can one link it with the dining area?
What I love about this kitchen are the neutral tones, the way that it complements the dining area. The charcoal greys bring out the limed oak in the dining table, but we've still got all the off-white colors that blend into the whites.
And yes, I'm so excited. The next challenge has got to do with my favorite place in the house. It is the kitchen. Now, as per usual, our design contestants have put together a budget projection for their kitchens. Team VZ has a massive projected budget of, listen to this, 191,000 Rand, with 110,000 Rand on appliances. Team Real Estate has a projected budget of 56,500 Rand, much smaller than that, but they haven't added their appliances yet, so that should jump up quite a bit once they've added those. Team L Decoration has a conservative budget of 32,500 Rand, but they also haven't added their appliances yet, so we'll have to wait and see what they have up their sleeves.
Win a home on Afternoon Express, where you, the viewer, can win one of 3 luxury apartments at Val de Vie Estate in the Cape Winelands, worth over 3 million Rand. Designed by our 3 contestants using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon.
Mother's Day campaign, keeping you updated on love and looking lovely. Now, spilling the beans on romance, we ask style and beauty blogger Brett Robson, how do you know when you are in love? Check this out.
I think you know when you're in love when you really just feel something inside, whether it's like butterflies every time the person texts you or calls, or when you see them, or when you know you're going to see them and you're kind of like just waiting, like, okay, I'm going to see this person this evening and I'm so excited. I think it also kind of changes who you are in terms of like you want to put a little extra effort in the way you dress and the way you look. Maybe you apply a red lip because you know he likes a red lip. And so it's just little things like that. I feel like that's when you really know that you care like that much about a person.
And I'm sure we'll all agree that there's absolutely nothing better than being in love. So Brett and the rest of the Revlon Love Squad will be sharing their love tips and makeup tricks right here on Afternoon Express every Tuesday and Thursday. So don't miss the dish. For more of a beauty fix, follow the campaign online, #LoveSquadSA. Love is on.
It's almost time for us to say goodbye on Afternoon Express, but we still want to get into that conversation that you guys are having online at the moment. If you've given us a call on 083-913-3728, thank you so much. Also, if you've posted all your comments and questions on our social accounts, we'd love to read them and get through as many of them as we can after the break. So you don't change that dial.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Today's topic of discussion is, of course, Queen Bee Syndrome, sexual harassment, and just general discrimination in the workplace. And we've got a caller on the line to chat to our amazing guests. We've got Jasmine from Cape Town.
Jasmine will be joining us in the next few minutes, I think, to ask her a question or give her a comment. But I actually had a comment for both of you that I really would like to know, and it's got to do with the sort of HR departments within companies. And I heard you mention earlier on about, you know, when you go to a boss or if it is somebody that's superior to you in a company, there is always so much fear of losing the job, especially with the job market being as tough as it is. What are the comments on that? How do you build up the bravery? How do you know that you've got security in the workplace, even after a case like that?
I think, like I said, there is an act, which is the Labour Relations Act, and there's also a code of conduct. I think it's important that people know that all employers must follow the code of conduct.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we also need to become active in reading and understanding, because knowledge will allow you to actually get the confidence also to know that the law is there to be able to support you, and where is it that you can go. For example, like I said before, to the Women Legal Centre, to the various law clinics, there are lawyers that will be able to assist you. But it's got to do with knowledge, and you need to read and understand how the law actually protects you.
Fantastic, thank you. Let's chat to Jasmine in Cape Town. Hey Jasmine, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What is your question or comment?
Well, I just want to say thank you to the panel today. This is absolutely a topic that is really happening out there. And, you know, I was unfortunate to be in a situation like that. And I do agree that there are so many women today who are in senior positions, which makes it increasingly difficult for other women to really get promoted or to get the recognition for the work they are doing. And as Jeannie was saying, you start losing your confidence. You start doubting your own ability as to whether you can do this. And to a certain point, you start thinking, you know, am I really blowing this out of proportion? Are things not, you know, am I just taking it the wrong way? But eventually, you know, you start thinking, okay, let's talk amongst ourselves. But even so, you're still scared to speak up simply because you think that, you know, there might be consequences for what you are doing. And unfortunately, I was in an industry where when you do work with other people, whether you're in Cape Town, Joburg, or Durban, or Johannesburg, whichever place you go to, you know, the word gets out there, and it makes it even more difficult for you to pursue your own career and to pursue your own dreams within the company that you are working for. So yes, I absolutely do agree with what the ladies were saying today.
Sure. Great comment. Thank you so much for that, Jasmine. Chiara, yummy.
I'm just going to put that right there.
Welcome to the discussion on this side. I'm glad you brought a little bit of a tasty note to the end of the show today. It's really, really yummy. It looks delicious.
I'm so excited. And ladies, this is definitely for you. Can I dish for you, actually?
Yes.
Here, can you pass me a dish over there? There you go. I've been actually waiting all day for this.
You're
I'm
the
so
champion
excited.
dishes. I'm so happy that you're doing that.
It looks so delicious. While Jeannie dishes up, if you're a huge Steven DeLon fan like me, then don't miss the show tomorrow. We have Joe Da Silva or Geeta McGregor on the show tomorrow, who recently announced that she is leaving Steven DeLon. Head to our Facebook page right now and leave your comments on the post. Tomorrow, we might feature you live on the show. Should be fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us, ladies.
Thank you so much for being such amazing guests today. It was a really incredible topic of discussion.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you again tomorrow. Oh, I think I'm going to be in Johannesburg, but we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Good night and happy eating.
Bye.
Ciao.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express. Having recently announced that she's leaving the cast of Steven DeLon, what lies ahead for Hillside's villain Geeta McGregor, we find out from the actress herself, Joe Da Silva.
The hottest address on TV is Winner Home on Afternoon Express. Proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.